Good morning or good afternoon, everyone. I'm Delphine Adono-Ousu, the Executive Director of UCAN, the EU Chamber of Commerce in Canada. Welcome to our EU-Canada Tech Business Day. I'm really happy to have all of you here today. Today, we will focus on opportunities between the EU and Canada in the agri-tech, clean tech, and medtech sector. Working with EU state-based chambers of commerce and business association and supported by the delegation of the European Union, UCAN is a key resource and main point of contact for EU businesses in Canada and for EU businesses thinking to entering the Canadian markets. We also provide very practical information on CETA, so really feel free to visit our website and social media for more information. Before we start our event, a few technical points on this event. As you may have seen in the agenda, we are now all together in this opening session. After the opening session, we'll split in three different virtual rooms, one for each panel discussion, which is agri-tech, clean tech, and medtech again. If you wanted to attend the three-panel discussion, don't worry, the sessions are being recorded and will be made available on our website later. Finally, the platform we are using today, Whova, is a very interactive platform that allows networking. So really feel free to virtually visit the booth of the EU member states and the partners of the event today, and Canadian provinces and territories, or to connect with potential partners. I would like to acknowledge our partners for today's events, which are EN Canada, the EU Chamber of Commerce in Canada West, and Canada EU Trade and Investment Association. Now we will have few words from Minister Eng in a recorded video. Just give us a few seconds. Technology is always tricky, even after a year.
Thank you for that introduction, Delphine. And hello, everyone. Bonjour tout le monde. I'm sorry I couldn't join you in person, but I'm happy that technology allows me to share a few words with you today and to share a virtual stage with two incredible women who will be speaking next. Her Excellency Melita Gabrick, the Ambassador of the Delegation of the European Union to Canada, and Peggy Van der Plasch from Invest in Canada. I want to thank our co-hosts for bringing everyone together to discuss the exciting opportunities Canada and the EU share in the fast-growing digital economy and tech space. By organizing events like today's, the European Union Chamber of Commerce in Canada, the Enterprise Europe Network Canada, and the Canada-EU Trade and Investment Association continue their fantastic work in helping businesses on both sides of the Atlantic grow and succeed in the global marketplace. Before the panel discussions and networking begin, I also want to thank all of the businesses who are joining us from the EU and from Canada. Your enthusiastic participation underscores an important fact that international trade and innovation go hand in hand, and that the opportunities that this pairing creates can truly drive our future economy. The good news is we're on the same page. For our government, supporting Canada's small and medium-sized tech businesses to scale up and to grow in the dynamic global markets like that of the EU through the Canada-EU Comprehensive Economic and Trade Agreement, also known as CETA, is one of the highest importance for a couple of reasons. First, it helps us diversify our trade and to become even more resilient. And second, it embodies our commitment to build a more innovative, inclusive, and sustainable future. And for all of you, there's even more good news on this last point. Last month, the new federal budget, our government committed to help our most innovative tech SMEs. For example, we're providing support for the International Business Development Strategy for Clean Technology and expanding support for the National Research Council's Industrial Research Assistance Program, which will help SMEs develop and commercialize technologies. On top of this, our new budget has carved out resources so that you, our high growth and innovative tech leaders, are supported when it comes to IP through programs like Elevate IP. With these kinds of support in place and more, Canada's small businesses will be primed to bring even more of their innovations to the lucrative European market. And so many of Canadian SMEs are already leading the way for this very growth. Let me give you an example. Take British Columbia's Greenlight Innovation. a Cleantech leader which has supplied testing and assembly equipment for fuel cells to France's global car manufacturer, Peugeot. Or Winnipeg's Farmer's Edge, a precision agritech company active in Europe that uses big data and other digital tools to help farmers be more targeted and therefore more efficient. And so many brilliant minds gather here today. I don't doubt at all that this list of success stories, while I only was able to highlight a couple and I could certainly highlight so many more, I do hope that with all of you together, more success stories like this will grow as you build even more bridges between Canada and the EU, throwing the doors of collaboration wide open, helping us build back better, and expediting this journey so that we can get onto that economic recovery. I want to thank you, merci, and enjoy the rest of the day.
Well, thank you, Minister Eng, for her words. I think that will be the motto of the day on how EU and Canada can really work together. We are really like-minded partner. We have an agreement that allows trade and investment. So there's everything for our companies, SMEs, and large corporations to really succeed. Now, I would like to call on here with me the newly appointed ambassador of the EU to Canada, Her Excellency Melita Gabbridge. Her Excellency, over to you.
Thank you, Delphine, Minister Eng. Good morning, everyone. It is my pleasure to be with you today and to address EU-Canada's Tech Business Day. I am glad that so many of you responded to the Chamber's call to meet and discuss what European and Canadian companies can do together in the fields of agricultural, clean, and medical technologies as we chart our course out of the COVID crisis. First, I would like to say a few words about our bilateral agreement, CETA, that also Minister Eng spoke about. Some of you are already using it to your benefit, to the mutual benefit to trade under its provisions. Now, 3.5 years into the CETA agreement, figures speak for themselves. Before COVID struck, bilateral trade between the EU 27 member states and Canada had increased by 25% for goods and 25% for services as compared to the pre-CETA situation. Even last year, when COVID obviously had an unprecedented impact on worldwide trade, exchanges between the EU and Canada were still 15% higher than pre-CETA. The 5,000 new European firms that became active on the Canadian market after CETA and the 500 new Canadian firms on the European market could continue with the help of CETA to be competitive on the other partners' markets despite the crisis and the logistical challenges. So CETA is and will be a crucial tool for our companies as they look for new opportunities to jumpstart their activities out of the crisis. And now, one thing I would emphasize is that the agreement was negotiated and is implemented with small companies in mind. The reason is simple. Both in Canada and in the EU, SMEs make up to 99% of our economies. So the defining feature of CETA is really that it helps small firms export more through simplified customs procedures, more compatible technical requirements, avoidance of double testing, and very importantly, by offering small companies better access to opportunities, including by allowing them better information about these opportunities. The European Union is putting a lot of effort into linking companies on both sides of the Atlantic. Today's discussions are dedicated to tech, so let me mention our EU-Canada Cleantech workshops that took place recently and that saw 500 European and Canadian companies participate. These workshops highlighted some promising sectors for EU-Canada collaboration in clean technology trade and investment. These events also laid the groundwork in advance of the upcoming Canada-EU CETA Cleantech Summit that will take place once it can be held in person. And of course, we hope this will be possible very soon. The European Union has also put in place the low carbon and circular economy business action in Canada. It is an interesting project worth mentioning. A 3 million project, EU action, so-called, to support clean tech business cooperation between Canadian and European small and medium enterprises who offer innovative solutions to Canadian challenges. A first pitch event took place last month in coordination with Globe Capital. And today, I believe you will have opportunity to hear more about this project, which will be presented during this workshop. Clean tech is an important potential of our future relationship. The COVID pandemic has changed how we travel, how we socialize, and how we work. It has triggered an unprecedented socioeconomic crisis, but it hasn't changed the urgency of tackling climate change crisis. Achieving net zero by 2015, as both the EU and Canada are committed to, will be impossible without the rapid scale-up of clean technologies. The EU is Canada's second largest clean tech export market after the US. It is also the world's third largest importer of clean technology products, worth about 150 billion. And CETA makes it considerably easier for Canadian and EU clean tech companies to do business. The agreement eliminated all tariffs of clean tech products and gave EU and Canadian firms access to regional and municipal procurement. CETA also facilitates mutually recognized conformity assessments and simplifies labor mobility. In case of the clean tech sector, this means that, for example, Canadian clean tech professionals can now work more easily in the EU member states, and Canadian companies can more easily hire an EU expert to come to Canada for short missions. Now, the EU is the world's largest importer of agriculture and agri-food products. The food system remains one of the primary drivers of climate change and environmental degradation. That's why a healthier and more sustainable food system is a cornerstone of the European Green Deal, and the Farm to Work strategy aims to ensuring that the food system has a neutral or even positive impact on the environment. Sustainable agricultural practices, including approaches to soil management and agroecology, the role of technology and the promotion of digital solutions in the framing sectors are key areas for cooperation between the EU and Canada. And I'm looking forward to your discussions today on opportunities to cooperate in all these areas. On the third topic of the day, the MedTech, I would emphasize that the EU and Canada collaborate very closely in the fight against the COVID-19 pandemic. We took jointly the lead in the global effort to rally support for therapeutics and vaccines through, for example, convening a high-level pledging conference that was launched by the EU and raised 15 billion euros. Canada was among the major contributors. We cooperate through COVAX facility that we both support, and that is actually primarily geared to help lower income countries to gain access to vaccines. of course, the EU has been a reliable partner in exporting vaccines from the EU to Canada all along. And a vast majority of vaccines distributed in Canada so far, more than 80%, came from EU-based manufacturers. And of course, we know that the vaccination is what will most importantly help us reopen our societies and our economies. Overall, health research cooperation between the EU and Canada runs deep and wide. Canada is actively engaged in major research endeavors with European partners in state-of-the-art research on cancer, neurodegenerative diseases, the Human Brain Project, just to name a few. These collaborations have the potential to develop and produce new cutting-edge health technologies and innovative medical devices. In conclusion, Canada and the EU are like-minded partners, both working on the green and digital transitions. As we heard Minister Ang say, we both strive to build back better. The EU through its new market strategy, and that has the twin goal of green and digital transitions in its core. Canadian and European companies have an important role to play in these twin transitions, and there are many opportunities to develop further business cooperation and to also further partner in research and innovation of new green and digital technologies. I would like to thank the European Chamber of Commerce in Canada for choosing such a relevant topic today, and I wish you a very fruitful discussions. Thank you very much for your attention.
Thank you very much, Ambassador Gabrich, and thank you for your words. Indeed, Canada and the EU are already doing a lot together, but there's much more. And we hope today with our great moderators and speakers that we will touch base on upcoming opportunities for our EU and Canadian companies. Now I would like to introduce Peggy Van der Plasch from Invest in Canada. She will give us an overview on the Canadian tech ecosystem and how EU companies can benefit from it. Peggy, over to you.
Thank you very much, Delphine. Good morning, everyone. It's really a pleasure to be here, and really thank you for the invitation and the opportunity. So as most of you, I'm sure, can hear to my strong French accent. I'm from France originally. I've been in Canada for close to 20 years now. So it's really my pleasure to discuss the bridge between the EU and Canada. Delphine mentioned, I'm on the board of Invest in Canada. This is the global investment attraction and promotion agency of the country. And my areas of deep expertise are in financial services and technology. So once again, discussing technology with you today is very, very exciting. So in the next 20 minutes, we will look in more details at the overall technology ecosystem, and in particular to Actec, Cleantech and Medtech. And also the bridge with Europe in these different areas. So I will share a presentation to make things a bit more interactive with you. We're gonna make sure you see it in full screen mode. Et voilà. So here is the agenda. So really in the vein of tell them what you're going to tell them. That's what we're going to discuss. And I really want to use this time to thank Michael Manosha, Nathalie Béchamp, and the team at Invest in Canada for putting together this presentation for us today. So thank you very much. The next slide is related to Canada's value proposition for EU. So the first thing is related to the CETA. You heard Minister Ng and Ambassador Gabrich talk about that. So I will probably not emphasize that point anymore, but this is one really of a many value proposition for European company doing business with Canada, and the other way around, obviously. The second point is EU is Canada's second largest trading partner. So you knew that maybe already, and we'll discuss in a bit more detail in the next slide. The country of Canada is also actually the #1 ranked country in terms of macroeconomic stability. And you might be aware of that. We have been pretty unscattered during the last financial crisis, and we've retained that #1 spot for many, many years now. So when you do business with Canada, you know you're going to be in stable ground. We also have access to exceptional talent. I will expand a bit more on that theme during the presentation. That's one of the great value proposition from Canada. We have multiple programs. One program I will mention right now is the Global Talent Stream, and it allows companies doing business in Canada, whether they're from Europe, from Canada, or other countries, to actually hire high-skilled workers from abroad and bring them in 10 days to the country. So that's a massive advantage for companies present in the country. We also have very attractive program to support innovation. You heard about Minister Ng, Ambassador Garbage talking about innovation. That's something that Canada is very, very supportive of. We have great incentives for European companies that want to establish operation in Canada, and also great tax incentives. I'll talk a bit more about that later, the innovation part. And last but not least, we have an excellent quality of life in the country, and it's not rare to meet people like me who came for 2 years and who are still in the country after 20 years. So a great quality of life. So European and Canadian are already extremely well versed in doing business together, and companies from Europe who want to come to Canada are already in safe ground. We have a lot of business links that have already been established. To continue briefly on that before jumping on the technology side, I mentioned previously that the EU is the second largest trading partner of Canada. You can see on the graph, you can see on the first graph on the left, that the FDI, the foreign direct investment from the EU to Canada, has increased exponentially. And we spoke about the CETA, obviously, and that increase has been, exponential in the last few years, even in 2020, which was obviously an exceptional year. And this is really a testament to the ease of doing business and establishing companies in Canada for EU companies, but also the willingness of European companies to do so. You can see the top countries that are actually investing in the country: Germany, Netherlands, Republic of Ireland, France, and Luxembourg, just to name the top 5. And on the right side, you can see the main industries that are source of these investments: manufacturing, management of companies, mining, oil and gas, financial insurance, and wholesale trade. So I want to mention that actually technology investments in the country from European countries have been growing in absolute and relative terms. If you actually expand the perspective, the #1 attraction now in Canada globally, so not just European countries, but all the world, is technology. So Canada is very, very well known abroad for technology, and we want to see more European technology companies expanding into Canada. So we are already home to the world's largest tech company, such as American giants like Apple, Amazon, but also European premier tech companies such as SAP. We have over 43,000 tech companies in the country, and this is becoming a self-fulfilling prophecy. We have great tech talent, we have great tech companies of all sizes, and obviously this become a virtuous cycle. So we are very, very proud of our tech sector in the country, and you can see some of the horizontal subsectors: software development, AI, I will talk a bit more about AI in a minute, and cybersecurity. So as I mentioned, we see more and more tech companies establishing in Canada benefit from the access to North America, while actually benefiting from our talent pool, the great quality of life, all the programs that are supporting innovation and so on. So really a great win-win for companies who want to come from Europe, attack the North American market. Setting up in Canada is a very, very good strategy. What's very interesting is if you look at the map of the country, and as I'm sure you know, it's a very, very large country, we have pods, and I should say more than pods actually, in every cities and every provinces. So it's one of the great strengths of the country, a coast-to-coast technology ecosystem that is also extremely diverse. So not only the cities that I'm sure you know better, like Montreal, Toronto, Waterloo, Vancouver, have great tech ecosystem, but cities that are maybe less known, such as Calgary and Saskatoon for Actec, but also Edmonton, Winnipeg, Halifax in AI, cybersecurity, or ocean tech. So this is really, again, a great, great opportunity when you come to Canada, is this opportunity to benefit from all type of expertise across the country in technology. So I will jump to our first subsector, which is the Actec, giving you a bit more visibility on what's happening here in the country. So Actec or Agritech is a strong and growing area of technology in Canada. Ranging from machinery and robotics to food tech, water management, and European companies know that. And we are very happy to host these companies, such as Rocket. You can see that on the screen, Rocket from France, or Infarm from Germany, but also companies like Meatless Farm from the UK that's based in Calgary. So we have already many successful European companies in Actec in the country, just to name a few. So here I want to give you again a perspective of the Actec ecosystem in the country. You can see we have more than 115, we have exactly 117 Actec startups in the country right now from coast to coast. It's very important to have a thriving startup ecosystem. Once again, it's this self-fulfilling prophecy of talent. It's also a pipeline for large companies, people who want to establish their own startup, but it's also a great way to all work together in supply chain. So this ecosystem is really end-to-end in the country in Actec, and you'll see after in MedTech and also in Cleantech. So one thing I want to mention to my friends in Europe who are like I was used to a smaller footprint, and to quote or misquote maybe Mark Twain, buy land. They are not making it anymore. And land is in rich supply in Canada. We're in a massive country. And obviously that's a competitive advantage that can ever be replicated. So when you come to the country, that's something you can access, which sometimes might be a bit more difficult in other type of countries. So that's something you also want to keep in mind, the wide land. I'm going to jump to a Cleantech now. We heard, obviously, for Minister Ng and Ambassador Gabriel about Cleantech. So very important area for Canada. I would say Cleantech is really in the country's DNA. We are committed to transition to a low emission economy. We focus on three main areas, which you can see on the screen: water technologies, hydrogen and fuel cells. I'll come back in a minute to hydrogen with a bit more of a use case. But also carbon capture, utilization, and storage. So, and to stay on the same theme of competitive advantage of Canada that are difficult to replicate, we have wide access to water, coast to coast, lakes, and this is something that is obviously being recognized. You can see Air Liquide here, Air Liquide from France, and it's leveraging that abundant access to water by building the largest PEM electrolyzer in the world, and they're doing that in Quebec. So that's something, as you're thinking about Cleantech or Actec, the natural resources that are present in Canada, where not many countries can compete with that, in addition, obviously, of all the other wonderful advantage we have. So here you can see the map of the startup. So extremely active areas for us, Cleantech. You can see 368 Cleantech startups, and you can see really that spread from coast to coast, that rich ecosystem. Canada is actually second to only the US in terms of Cleantech startups in the top 100 globally. So this is really when a company from the EU or elsewhere establish in Canada, that's also what they have access to. That rich ecosystem and that deep expertise that they can do business with and leverage as well. I will now zoom in a bit on hydrogen. It's a topic that is not only very interesting, but very relevant in terms of use case. So Canada is really recognized as a global leader in hydrogen. And you can see on the right the couple of examples. I'm going to focus on the first one. So last year, Daimler of Germany and Volvo of Sweden teamed up in a joint venture to produce hydrogen fuel cells. And they choose Canada to do so, recognizing, the expertise, the ecosystem, the government programs, and the pool of talent, and that will support their new venture. So this is one of the many great seals of approval from Europe. And you can see below from the US with Cummins and Loop that support the expertise that is present in Canada in terms of Cleantech, and really, I would say, punching very much above our weight. And you can see on the next slide some of the companies, and it's just a small number of companies in the hydrogen space in Canada. And that's some of our national champions, I would say, that are collaborating with international players. And Air Liquide from France, which I mentioned earlier, are actually a shareholder in Hydrogenics. So very tight link. And last but not least, I want to jump into life sciences or medtech. So Canada has had tremendous success in the last year in attracting large pharmaceutical companies, such as Roche, Novartis, and Sanofi. And these companies contribute to the dynamism of the life science ecosystem in Canada, from pharmaceuticals, medical devices, biotech, R&D. So again, virtuous cycle, the more companies we have, the stronger that ecosystem. So we already have a very strong local ecosystem. Every new company is coming from the EU, from the US, or Japan, anywhere in the world, is strengthening that ecosystem. So we're getting ourselves, and I'm going to use some technology lingo here, we're getting ourselves a very nice flywheel effect with that attraction and these global champions and national champions all working together. So next, I really want to mention and spend a bit of time on AI and the application in healthcare. So I mentioned in my intro the strength of Canada in AI, and you can see the map. We have really three strong pool in terms of AI in the country: Edmonton, Montreal, and Toronto. And we've seen multiple collaborations between international companies that are present in the country and local organizations, whether they're private or public, in the healthcare space, leveraging the AI capabilities of Canada. So I'm just going to spend a few seconds on some of these examples, just to give you a bit more of an idea. So the first one, Roche, Google, IBM are collaborating with EMI is the Alberta Machine Intelligence Institute, so based in Edmonton, as I mentioned, one of the center of AI in the country. The second one is between Thomson Reuters, Accenture, LG with the Vector Institute, pardon me, in Toronto. The Vector Institute is a deep learning research lab. And last but not least, in Montreal, which is also extremely active in AI, we have companies like Microsoft, Hitachi, Dialog, collaborating with Mila, which is the Montreal Institute for Learning Algorithms. So again, the access to all these organizations really amp up the attractivity of the country for companies coming from abroad in order to benefit from the intelligence that is already existing in the country. And you can see on the map here again the richness of the digital health or medtech startup in the country with 114 digital health. I'm sure as we're talking, we're already at 115 right now. And again, as I mentioned several times, this ecosystem is really, really attractive when you decide to come and work in Canada. So tech talent, I mentioned a bit earlier the tech talent as one of the main competitive advantage in Canada. And that's, I would say, a topic that is dear to my heart and that I'm sure is going to be dear to your heart and probably most people, as talent is the cornerstone of any companies. And if you look at the country of Canada, it is the most educated country in the OECD. And the tech talent you can find in the country is extremely diverse, coming from countries all around the world, but also with best-in-class education. And actually, I just want to show you a bit more details on that. So the quality of life in Canada, I keep coming back to that because that's really something that when you come from other countries, you're always surprised by, oh my God, life is so pleasant in Canada. But the quality of life in the country, but also the thoughtful immigration programs drove the best talent to the Canada ecosystem every year, but in any cities. Toronto, Vancouver, Calgary, Montreal, and every city is between that. And we have 2 official languages in Canada, as I'm sure you know, French and English. And you can find talent speaking absolutely every languages that is spoken on the planet. So I want to end with just a quick, let me move that, yeah. A quick view of the programs that are available to companies that want to come to Canada. I mentioned support for innovation, tax incentives, the global skills strategy, which is really something that companies here really, really appreciate, the opportunity to have work permits in 2 weeks for highly skilled global talent. So if you want more information, obviously you can contact us. You have the contact information of Nathalie, who's the Chief Investor Services, and Saika, who's in charge of the EU. Delphine has my contact information. So by all means, if I can be helpful, don't hesitate. I really, really want to thank you for your time and your interest. I hope you will strongly consider expanding your company footprint in the country. As you have seen, you will be very, very well taken care of. And I really want to thank again Delphine and UCAN for organizing that event, for inviting us and having the opportunity to showcase Canada's strength in technology. And I'm wishing you all a fabulous day and a great event.
Thank you very much, Peggy. That was a very interesting presentation, and I guess it will really lays the foundation of all the panel discussion that we will have. So again, thank you very much. And thank you to Ambassador Gabrich also for being with us for this opening session. So now we are over with the first session. Before you go, I just wanted to give you again some few details. You have time to grab a coffee or a glass of wine eventually if you are based in Europe. Or you have time also to work on a couple of emails. The panel discussion will start at exactly 8 a.m. PDT or 11 a.m. EST or 5 p.m. In Europe. So now, yeah, we have a little bit of a break and we'll see you in the panel discussion. And again, thank you very much. And one more thing, if you wanted to see the 3 panel discussion, don't worry, you can choose one and all the others are being recorded. So you will be able to watch them again on our YouTube channel, and obviously all the information will be sent to you. I wish everybody a great event and I will see you after the panel discussion. Thank you very much, everyone, and have a great day.